picks up issues always that matter to you, and very often we find ourselves picking up the issues that the other news channels avoid or rather not talk about for whatever reasons. They may be compromised. We don't want to speculate on that, but the fact is that they don't pick up issues. For example, there's this very troubling news which has been coming in that the Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann was found in an inebriated condition. The simpler word would be drunk, at Frankfurt when he was about to board a flight, or at least that's the accusation of the opposition leaders. Multiple sources, the story is going viral right now. There's been no real statement from the Punjab Chief Minister's office, and there is news that he entered a flight and then he left without, without taking off on the flight. In other words, that he was deplaned. And some people are saying, and there are some reports saying, that was because he was found to be in an inebriated condition. Now, Lufthansa has not commented on Mr. Bhagwant Mann himself or the condition or whether he entered the flight and left the flight, and we don't know the details of that. But whatever it is, this is a very troubling issue. We'll be talking about it at 10 p.m. tonight. The other issue that I'm picking up this evening, which is also very interestingly not being picked up by any news channel. Viewers, this is called the valuation scandal, and this happens when a company, sometimes very big, makes huge losses, keeps making huge losses, losses, but ends up getting a huge valuation. That's bizarre. You would ask, how can anyone making huge losses get valued very highly? What is valuable about making losses? Repeatedly, consistently, large losses. Well, that is the exact scandal. It makes no sense. More so if the company shows no immediate and mid-term strategic hope of recovery. Making losses is not a business plan. Businesses are meant to be profitable. So then, why is this happening, viewers? Some experts say that behind this valuation scandal, it is a desire by some very big names, big investors for big and quick returns. Many foreign investors keep pumping money into a company, hoping to make big returns. You see, viewers, the investors keep pumping more and more money into a company at higher and higher valuations to make the company look attractive to the outside world, much like a dangerous financial game. And then the company tries to maintain this hype. And on that basis of that hype, sometimes digitally, sometimes in advertising, like in the crypto, with the crypto guys advertising during IPL, the investors hope to make a killing in the stock markets when the company finally lists for the IPO. So it's all about somehow hitting the stock markets. And finally, what that means is that the only person losing the money, his or her hard-earned money, is not the institutional investor, it's the ordinary retail stock investor. In other words, you could be the one making the losses. The company owners and the investors usually, at least so far, get away. They hope to get away because of the hype. And also because India's financial media rarely exposes this kind of scandal on a regular basis. And it's food for thought for India's financial media as well. So that is why I'm picking this up tonight, viewers. Why I'm picking this up tonight is because there's the interesting case of a company called Byju. You must have heard of Byju. Byju is getting valued at over $22 billion, I'm told, when it makes thousands of crores in losses. Thousands of crores in losses. But huge valuation. Byju is everywhere. A lot of hype on our cricket team, in every form of advertising, digital content, here, there, everywhere, buyouts, big headlines. And I truly wish the Byju's founders all the best. But I'm not sure whether their valuation is justified. And I'm not the only person. Very well-informed people also have some serious doubts. Fact is, I want to know, and I'm pretty sure the nation wants to know, how a company like Byju, so neck-deep in in losses, manages such a crazily high valuation. I want to know the basis of that. I also want to know whether all these valuation games, all these valuations of these different companies into which different companies, sometimes Japanese investors, Chinese investors, American investors keep putting money finally to hit the Indian stock markets, and in other words, to make money at the cost of the average Indian if they end up making losses. I want to know whether these valuations are justified anymore. I also want to know whether these valuations and hype can hurt the interest of the ordinary investor, the ordinary Indian. And viewers, these are questions unfortunately our media has stopped asking. Most of all, viewers, I want to know about the ethics of it all. The ethics of it. India needs entrepreneurship for sure. I'm an entrepreneur, viewers. But we also need solid businesses that build India. We don't want solid hype that doesn't. I also call upon the other media tonight to follow what Republic is doing and open their eyes on the potential valuation scandal. And whether what's happening is good for the economy of India, long term, and good for the people of India. Ladies and gentlemen, debating that tonight, hashtag Byju's in trouble, we all know it is. But we want to know whether these are illusions that can hurt us, or whether these are illusions that only hurt corporates and their investors. Ladies and gentlemen, debate number one tonight. As Iranian women bravely take to the streets to protest hijabs, is it time for the pro-hijab lobby to take a straight position? Debate number one tonight, viewers. And the troubling, very troubling news. Was Mann drunk? Honestly, was he inebriated? Is it true that he was deplaned from a Lufthansa flight? That's debate number two. That's the accusation of the opposition in Punjab picking up steam. And here are the headlines this Monday evening on the debate tonight. A revolution rises against hijabs in Iran. Women fight back, take to the streets. Women in Iran are exposing the moral police that wants the hijab. The lobby in India, seeing these pictures, is getting a rude shock. Massive national controversy once again over the Aam Aadmi Party's Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann. Was he drunk and had to be deplaned by Lufthansa in Germany? Controversy is becoming bigger and bigger. Some kind of a technical statement from Lufthansa, but the airline is silent on the was Mann drunk controversy. The Aam Aadmi Party calls it opposition propaganda. A Hindu community targeted in UK's Leicester City. Mobs attack temple and take down symbols of Hinduism. And what everyone's talking about right now across India, Byju's in big trouble, thousands of crores in losses, valuations in billions and billions. Big questions surround Byju's, and the big debate is tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, it was at the start of this very year that we saw a circuit go gaga over demanding hijabs in schools. They depicted it as a matter of right, a matter of protest. They tried to make the hijab a symbol of resistance. But tonight they must open their eyes and face the reality. Hijabs are increasingly being seen as symbols of oppression. And it is not me who is saying this. It's the thousands of women thronging the streets in Iran. Tonight, a 22-year-old who died over not wearing a hijab. And tonight, the pro-hijab lobby in India also must introspect as the world rallies against such oppression. Are they paving the way for repression? Ladies and gentlemen, let's debate.
Citizens are rising in unprecedented numbers to reject the hijab in Iran. The uprising began after 22-year-old Mahsa Amini was detained by Iran's so-called morality police. Found a fault with her hijab, she died in custody in Tehran. Women are burning the hijab.
A new trend of Twitter has been launched by the Iranian citizens, especially the women, that they are denying wearing hijab because of killing of Mahsa Amini, a 22 years old girl who was resident of Kurdistan area of Zandij.
They are chopping their hair. And they are fighting back Iran's morality police. Previously, women under the Taliban regime were hitting out in hijabs. As these visuals take the world by storm, in India, some are still demanding the hijab.
हम किसी को बैकअप नहीं कर रहे थे, हम फ्रंट में रुककर लीड कर रहे थे, बैकअप हम नहीं कर रहे थे।
वही बोल रहे सर।
सही वही है, बैक नहीं कर रहे थे, हम फ्रंट में रुककर ये लड़कियों का साथ दे रहे थे।
The All India Muslim Personal Law Board was targeting hijab-clad women for dancing.
And the lobby's hypocrisy is completely off the charts. The same circuits that were voraciously demanding hijab in India are now completely silent on the women's rejection of hijab in Iran.
The revolution in Iran is indicating that the hijab is a sign of repression, not revolt.
अगर असदुद्दीन ओवैसी भारत की पार्लियामेंट में दाढ़ी और टोपी पहनकर जा सकता है तो क्या मेरी बेटी हिजाब और निकाब पहनकर स्कूल क्यों नहीं जा सकती?
Hijab, I have already told you, 7 times this word has been used in the scripture and nowhere it has been used in the context of the dress of a woman.
Can India allow our Muslim sisters to be subject to repressive fundamentalism? Let's debate.
I'd like to welcome this evening Zina Chaukat Ali on this what's happening tonight and over the last few days in Iran is really something we need to look about, because these are not men, like Owaisi who are protesting. These are women who have faced the repression, who have started Subuhi a major revolt against the hijab. So there are men who say you have to wear the hijab. And there are women, Dr. Fawzia Rauf, who are saying you don't teach us. We are not going to wear the hijab. And they are saying to Feroz Bakht Ahmad, we are not going to be repressed anymore. And they are saying to hell with male chauvinism right now, we are going to fight back. Waris Pathan, the women in Iran are fighting back. It's incredible, see the pictures tonight. If you see the pictures, Ehtesham Hashmi and Shams Ravishji, lawyer in the Supreme Court, you will realize that these are some of the biggest protests across the world that have happened against the hijab. I'd like to play the pictures, producers, please, right now, viewers. And there are massive protests. 1 second, Ehtesham.
Arnab, just 1 minute.
Just 1 minute.
Give me 1 minute.
Massive protests, viewers. Here are the pictures on your screen. Here are the pictures on your screen. These are huge protests. These are almost unstoppable protests. And there are protesters who are saying that the law forcing hijab must go. The police had fired upon the protesters, but the protests are not stopping. There were arrests of several people, but the women continued to protest. And there are videos shared all over, ladies and gentlemen, in this revolt that's going on against the hijab in Iran, where people are raising slogans like woman, life and freedom. They are saying Subuhi, woman and life and freedom. And they are doffing the hijabs in a symbolic protest. And they've even been seen on social media chopping off their hair and setting hijabs on fire. What is happening is very, very interesting out here. Subuhi, what's going on? What do you think is going on here, Subuhi? Why is this happening in Iran?
Yes, Arnab, I would really like to confess and really like to say that I have goosebumps right now seeing what pictures were being shown on the TV just before you asked me to speak. Actually, this is not a protest against wearing hijab. This is a protest against religious dictatorship. This is a protest against modern day slavery. Muslim youth have been tormented and humiliated and blackmailed and brainwashed for so many years. A Muslim youth cannot sing, cannot dance, a Muslim woman cannot open the hair. For how long? And what sin have we committed? Just that we are born in a Muslim community? I'm so proud of these women, Arnab, these women who are waving these headscarves while facing guns and bullets. This is not an ordinary sight. This is history.
But why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Why have the women come out in an anti-hijab protest in your view? Would you like to tell Lubna? And Lubna, see these pictures once again, please. These are pictures that are coming in from Iran. where these women were being forced and told if you don't wear the hijab, you can be shot, you can be arrested. But the women have come out right now, and these pictures are really amazing, you know. They're really amazing. The protests are going absolutely viral. And their women are saying it is our choice not to wear the hijab, and the men will no longer force us to do so. Lubna, are you seeing these pictures? I told you a few months back, I told you that the spirit of freedom resides everywhere in Iran and in India as well. And these women are saying that no more moral policing on us. No more moral policing. Yes, Lubna.
Yes, that should be true for the Karnataka girls as well. For the Iranian girls as well as the Karnataka girls. I stand with both of them. Their right to wear or their right to remove.
Now, you seem to be a little taken aback by this. Do you realize that Masha Amini Subuhi, a 22-year-old, was taken away by force by the Tehran police. They tried to tell her, we can shoot you, we can kill you for not wearing the hijab. She fell into a coma and she died. She was tortured by the police, but she didn't give up. Subuhi, she did not give up. She continued to fight. She said, I am not going to...
The name of Islam was absolutely un-Islamic.
This woman has become a symbol of resistance against this religious dictatorship that Muslim youth have faced for so long. Today it was Mahsa Amini. Some time ago it was Nida Agha Sultan in Iran. I think some time ago there was a wrestler called Naved Afkhari who was murdered by the government of Ayatollah Khomeini. And I want to, I don't know the name of the other panelist who's sitting, but I want to give you one example.
Her name is Dr. Lubna Kamal. Her name is Dr. Lubna Kamal. Lubna Kamal from Lucknow.
One example here.
Yes.
One example here. At one point in Iran, they say that Islam talks about dignity and self-respect of women. That is why we promote wearing hijab. In Iran only, Ayatollah Khomeini reduced the marriageable age of girls to 13 years. Do you think the 13-year-old child is ready to get married and get involved in the things which are being done in the name of marriage? Do you really think so? Why these double standards in the name of Islam? And why only women are being subjected to these one-sided dictatorship?
As Islam is concerned, please don't drag it into this, because it is forbidden for males to watch girls, what they are wearing or what they are removing. It is forbidden for males to do so.
But here you can kill this girl. A girl has been killed. A young lady, 22-year-old, has been killed for not wearing a hijab. Fawzia Roff from New York is saying something here. Fawzia, you're watching this. Fawzia wants to say something to you, Lubna. Fawzia is on the debate. Yes, Fawzia.
I have a question from this hijabi lady, that she is enjoying the secular India and she can say anything from the comfort zone of the country where she has all the rights she can enjoy. But have she ever think of the Afghan woman who has been forced into wearing burqa, who's been stopped from going to school? And now it's Iran, been 40 years that the women are forced to wear hijab, do not sing, do not appear. There are Irani singers, Irani actors who are shining on the Hollywood, but they are not allowed to go to live in their country and be a part of their community. Have she ever think of the UAE, the king's wife who ran away to the United Kingdom just for the same freedom? They are not only caged in this classical conditioning, slave mentality. I always say that hijab is a classical conditioning, like the Pablo classically conditionalize a dog, and when you don't throw the dog, when you don't ring a bell, once you conditionalize it, even when you don't give him a bone, the dark saliva started dribbling from his mouth. That's what these hijabi women sitting right on your panel is. She's been classically conditionalized into it from a very young age, and now talking about her hijab, she started barking and her saliva.
No, I would request you not, let's not even, you don't need to even use comparisons, that can be disrespectful for the other panelists. But my point here tonight is this. My point here tonight is this. Viewers, I want you to see once again what is happening in Iran. And in case you did not follow the news, I just want to run the pictures, please, Anand. And in Iran, something very both very interesting and almost magical is happening, where the women of Iran have collectively, can I run the pictures full frame, please? Thank you so much. Where the women of Iran are right now in the middle of a viral, unstoppable national protest against the hijab. And these are the pictures, Waris Pathan, that your supreme leader, Asaduddin Owaisi, should see. The women of Iran are burning the hijab. They are removing the hijab. They are saying we want our freedom. We want our freedom. I'm sure there are equivalents of Asaduddin Owaisi. Equivalents of Asaduddin Owaisi in Iran as well. I'd like to get her on the...
Everyone should rise against oppression.
Yeah, they are already rising.
I completely
If you allow me to make my point,
can I have 2 versus 2? Anand, please, I'm requesting you. Thank you. 1 minute. I'm talking. Sham, thank you. Can I have Fawzia a minute, please? Fawzia a minute. I want Zeenat Shaukat Ali and Firoz Bakht Ahmad on the left-hand side. Please allow me. Please allow me to proceed with the debate. Please allow me to proceed with the debate. Thank you so much. Question being, Waris, you're watching this? And the message for you is men like you. And the operational word is men like you. Men like you who do not understand what a woman goes through. Men like you and Asaduddin Owaisi have decided that you have the right to decide what a woman should wear. And women like Zeenat Shaukat Ali in Iran today, women older than her and younger than her are all out on the streets saying they will not listen to men like you anymore. Zeenat Shaukat Ali, what's the message for people like Waris Pathan in your view? What's the message for people like Owaisi? From Iran.
The first thing I'd like to say, thank you, Arnab, for inviting me. The first thing I want to say is that whatever has happened to this young 22-year-old kid is brutal, condemnable, deplorable, and totally against the spirit and the understanding of Islam. This is just no way to treat women. Hijab, as we have seen, it is not an obligation. There are 5 obligations, the 5 pillars of Islam. Hijab is not included in that. The word hijab is mentioned 7 times in the Quran, and none of these words, this word has been referred to women's clothing. And when it was referred to when women went out, they were attacked, and they had a particular kind of a garb in which they had exposed themselves, and therefore it was said to cover yourself when you go out. But this is not the interpretation, and this is not the enforced interpretation that has come over centuries and has become an oppression and a suppression for women. And women have stood up. You see, there have been interpretations of this by Muhammad Asad, by Amir Ali, by Yusuf Ali, by Imam Razi, by Imam Zamashkari. This is not I'm not saying it. You just have to open the Quran Sharif and see the interpretations of all these people.
Now allow us to make our point, Mr. Arnab.
And therefore,
let her complete.
Let me
let her complete. You open the debate. Let her complete. Let Zeenat Shaukat Ali complete. And the only thought, you know why you are worried today, Waris? I'll tell you why you are worried. You are thinking pictures on the screen. What Waris Pathan is thinking is that the women in India, allow me, wait a minute. The women in India will watch the pictures of the women across the length and breadth of Iran burning their hijabs in protest and crying out for freedom. And then Waris Pathan is thinking that if these pictures are seen in India, what is going to happen? How will he decide what the women of India, Muslim women of India should do anymore? That's what he's worried about. Yes, Waris, now continue.
Let the nation know my thoughts. Let the nation know my thoughts. So first and foremost, Mr. Arnab, I live in my great nation called Bharat, India. I follow the constitution given to me by Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar, and in that constitution, freedom of religion is granted under Article 25. And so I practice that, and hijab is an essential religious practice followed in Islam. I am not worried about Iran. What is happening there in Iran? Let them happen. Why you want to open a channel in Iran or what? Do you stand by the side
I don't want to open a channel in Iran. I am saying there's a hijab revolution against the hijab in Iran.
Our country, women are being insulted, Mr. Goswami.
Mr. Pathan,
you are calling women from Iran to
Mr. Pathan, do you stand by the side of these Iranian women? Do you salute them?
To apologize that. I am saying,
Mr.
first and foremost, sir, the matter is sub judice in the
be an
court of law.
insan.
Sub matter is sub
Do
judice
not
in
speak
Supreme
like
Court.
a shaitan.
Let the
I am
Supreme
asking
Court
you,
decide,
do you
but
stand by
pending
the
that
side
matter,
of
we
these
are giving
protesting
our
women
opinions.
in Iran?
My opinion
Do
is
you
simple,
salute
nobody
them?
forces. It is a freedom of choice. It is a choice of an individual to wear a hijab.
You decide first.
Says,
One minute. What is Pradhan?
Like
Now I'm interrupting right now, and you please stop right now because I'm saying something to you. My question to him is 1 minute. Very interesting point. Waris, you decide. Waris, you decide.
Ask him, does he
Waris, volume
stand by
down.
the
Listen
side
to
of
me.
Iranian
Waris,
women?
1 minute. Well, just 1 minute. Everyone calm down for a moment. And Waris, if you're going to be quiet, I'll counter you.
Arnab,
It takes me just 10
ask
seconds
him
to obliterate
if
your
he
arguments
stands
anyway on
with
an average
these
basis.
young women of
Just 1
Iran
minute. Two
who are
people on the
against
screen
hijab,
right now. Only
veil
Waris
and
and
burqa.
only Waris and Firoz. Waris, you stop, and I'll get Firoz to come into the debate. Thank you so much. Thank you. 1 minute. Just one. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute, please. 1 minute. You see, viewers, it's very interesting. Here on the program,
Waris
he
bhai,
comes
just a
and
minute.
says,
Have patience.
Firoz
You are a lovely brother, please.
1 minute. You see, he says it's a matter of choice. But before the Supreme Court, he says that it's a mandate as per Islam. Now, mandate is not voluntary. Right? Firoz bhai, no. If it's a mandate, it's not voluntary. You are saysaying it is a religious mandate. Then you are arguing here on the argument of choice. Both can't coexist. Firoz Bakht Ahmad is on the debate, viewers. The pictures of the Iran hijab protest are on your screen right now. Yes, please, Firoz Bakht Ahmad. Firoz Bakht Ahmad is on the debate. What is? It's not your turn right now. Firoz is hitting back. Firoz.
Just a minute. Pathan Sahab, just let me go ahead. Yes. For a start, forget Sarkar. I know how much you are with Sarkar. Let me tell you one thing. I condemn this moral police of Iran. They have done a heinous, horrendous, horrific and horrible deed by killing that young woman, 22-year-old young woman, Masha. Right? Let me tell you one thing. There was a time that Iran under the Shah Ahmad Raza Shah Pahlavi was a very modern country. And
Waris, you got to stop, Waris.
They used to.
Waris, you got to stop. I'll get Ehtasham on the other side. Waris, 1 minute, you got to stop. Ehtasham on the right. Thank you, please. One at a time. Thank you.
Waris, just please hold on.
Thank you. Silence, please. After Firoz,
please hold on.
After Firoz, Ehtasham will speak. Silence, please, ladies and gentlemen, right now on the screen. And the pictures, 1 minute. We're getting a lot of responses to this. But I want to tell you, viewers, why this has happened. I'll have to, because some people are calling in right now. They're tuning in right now, Firoz bhai, and they are saying, can you just tell us the news spec? And I want to tell them, viewers, 22-year-old young woman has been killed for defying an attempt to force her to wear the hijab. She died. She went into coma. She died.
Let me complete.
And there's a revolution in Iran right now. Yes, please.
मुझे पूरा करने दो, please.
Please, बोलिए.
Yes, let me salute all these women of Iran, all these brave women of Iran who are actually protesting against hijab. Hijab is nothing. It is a mere piece of cloth. The real hijab is of character. The real hijab is of spirit. It is of internal soul. So this is no hijab. And the way I would say down with Iran, what Iran has done with their women today. And let me tell you, people in Iran, they say they are promoting women. What kind of promotion is this? It is said in Islam that Jannat, that is heaven, lies under the feet of the mother of the woman. And what they have done to their woman, they have murdered her in cold blood. And finally, let me tell you one more thing, Arnab, that Iran used to be after Khomeini, Iran has become radicalized, and Iran has become a horrible country as far as women are concerned. And finally, let me tell you one thing. Thanks to Prime Minister Modi, this governance, that triple talaq, this talaq-e-bidat has gone. I am also after talaq-e-Hasan. That too should be banned by the Supreme Court of India. I am just waiting for the right time. Maybe on 11th of October, I'll file a plea that like triple talaq was banned, in the same way, the lives of Muslim women should be saved by a ban by the Supreme Court of India and the government of India on talaq-e-Hasan, or what they call talaq-e-Husna or talaq-e-Hasan. Because the lives of women, they can't go out into the malls, they can't wear sari, they can't do anything. I mean, they are also, like men, they also have their lives. They want to make up, they want to look beautiful, and this veil, this hijab, this burqa, it has come from Byzantine tradition of Turkey.
No, Firoz Bhai, the fact is tonight, that we are a democracy. We believe in free choice, and what is happening in Iran is a lesson, I believe, for a lot of people in India who used to say here right now that, you know, there is no choice in this. It is a mandate as per Islam, and they are saying their argument has been, Firoz Bhai, their argument has been, if it's a mandate as per Islam, then how can any government in India or the law in India take that mandate away? And I've always felt that all women have equal rights.
Says, let me make it very clear.
I just 1 minute. Let me complete what I'm saying, Firoz Bhai. I'm saying, Firoz Bhai, 1 minute. I'm saying all women. I'm very clear in my thoughts. All women have equal rights.
As far as religion is concerned.
Yeah. 1 minute, Firoz Bhai, just a minute, please. All I'm saying is, Firoz Bhai, all women have equal rights. You can't say Hindu woman has the right to wear what she wants, but a Muslim woman will be mandated, as per people who interpret the religion, to be forced to wear the hijab. It's a wake-up call tonight, viewers. Wake-up call. And as of now, Ehtesham, see these pictures. Thousands and thousands of Iranian women are chopping off their hair. They are burning the hijab. This is an unstoppable protest. And you know, there's a brother of this 22-year-old. He, before his very eyes, the police, the moral police, snatched his sister away and killed her. They snatched her away and killed her. What was her fault?
Arnab,
She said, Ehtesham is on the debate right now with Subuhi. She said, I will not wear the hijab. And so they killed her.
To keep silence.
And so they killed her. How will women in India, Muslim women in India, respond when they see these pictures, Ehtesham?
Arnab, thank you so much for inviting me to this debate, and I salute my sisters from Iran, and I condemn the act of Smriti Irani ji, who is keeping silence on Bilkis Bano issue and Asifa issue. And I must condemn the act committed by those persons who are trying to depressing Iranian sisters. And the same situation is prevailing in India. I am going to show few photographs to you, Arnab, on this debate, and I am inviting all of you who are participating in the debate to make some comment on these pictures. These are my Manipuri sisters who are protesting against Indian army by removing their clothes.
You know, I just put the thing down because
the panelists who are
put it down. You can
Iranian
make your point. I do not have
courage to make comment on it.
1 minute. Just 1 minute. Just one point. Just 1 point tonight. 1 point. I'll get Subuhi on the debate there right now. No, you see, speak on the issue, Ehtesham. Ehtesham, I'll tell you. Just wait a minute. Ehtesham, just wait a minute. I have Ehtesham and Subuhi Anand. I mentioned these were the two panelists I wanted on the two guests. 1 minute. That's all. That's all. No.
This is not the way. It's my chance.
Yeah, it's your chance, but I'm saying something to you. And I'm saying something to you. And you've not shown anything that is new. I would tell you this, that the protest against what you are showing there is a very well-known image. And I will not allow pictures of women without proper morphing of the pictures, and I hold you back from showing pictures which are not being morphed, because it is indecent of you to do so. Second point, it is indecent of you to do so. So don't commit an indecency. Second point is that was a protest against the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, which has been debated and which has been removed from several parts of the Northeast. Now answer the question. It's so inappropriate of you, Ehtesham. Ehtesham, I will not come to you if you behave in this terrible manner. Then I'll switch you off.
We are talking about Iranian women.
Yeah, of course we are. We are talking about the rights of Indian women. Who are you to decide that Indian women have to wear a hijab?
Yeah, why don't you want to talk about Indian women?
No, 1 minute. Who are you? I am talking about the rights of Indian women. Who are you to decide that the women in India have to wear the hijab?
Uttar Pradesh don't have a...
No. I am talking about you trying to impose what you call is an Islamic mandate.
We are so concerned about Iranian sister, and we are not...
You are running away from the subject for a third time, and Subuhi is countering you on the debate. Subuhi is on the debate right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Subuhi responding to the immediate points made there by our panelist, Ehtesham Hashmi. Yes, Subuhi.
This panel is keeping silence on this issue.
Arey, don't shout.
Subuhi Khan don't encourage to have a word on these kinds of pictures. Subuhi, I am telling
एक second. Don't talk about courage. Please, don't talk about courage. That is the only thing which is my strength. Now listen.
I am challenging
Arnab,
you.
please ask
I am
him to
challenging
listen.
you. Do you have the courage to file petition?
अरे सुन तो लीजिए भाई, courage. Arnab, please इनकी आवाज का
You continue, Subhi, continue.
एहतशाम जी, I stand with Bilkis Bano as much as I stand with these women in Iran who are protesting against this religious dictatorship. Tell me one thing. We are taught in Islam, Allah is the most beneficent, Allah is the most merciful. Is that what we are taught in Islam?
You don't have any knowledge.
So why are we making Allah like a Nazi who will burn you in hellfire, who will kill you if you will not dress as per its wishes?
Which book you have read?
Allah does not poke his nose in your personal life. What are you wearing? What are you eating? What language are you speaking? What scriptures are you reading? What books are you following? Allah doesn't get into these small things. Allah has better things to do in life.
Now, my point here is 1 minute. May I request you, Subhi, because he's speaking non-stop. I'll get on the other side. I'll get Shams Ravish. We're on an important point right now, and I don't want it to be diluted by one person speaking on top of the other. That's necessary sometimes and not necessary sometimes. You see, Shams Ravish, I need you to understand the point. The senior advocate for the petitioner in this case, in the hijab case, is Huzaifa Ahmadi, made a very interesting point. He said that the girls who are being prevented from wearing the hijab to school belong to conservative families. Please note the words, belong to conservative families and may be forced to choose between religious practice and their education. In other words, there is an admission there that the girls, because they come from quote-unquote conservative families, are being forced to wear the hijab. The bench in the Supreme Court then immediately asked if the girls were being forced to wear the hijab. You follow what I'm saying? The petitioners have already admitted in court that the girls are not wearing the hijab out of their free will, but because they belong to quote-unquote conservative families. Conservative families. That's the point. Waris, you heard me there? You heard me there, Lubna? We're being told out here in the Supreme Court, you see these girls are from conservative families, and so they must be denied the choice to wear what they want. They have to wear the hijab because they're from conservative families. And that is the kind of repression which is unacceptable in modern day India.
Where did you get this? It is a freedom of choice. It is an individual choice whether she
If it's an individual choice, then how does the matter of the girls coming from conservative families come in?
Wear hijab and go to school, study. What problem does you have? Is it a threat to the national security of the country? No. It's in
or I want to wear it as per my wish. If I want to wear a tilak, then it is not my choice.
Why do
then
you follow Indian law? Why you want to speak about Iran, Tehran, Afghanistan?
Stop.
Waris, on the debate, Waris.
No. Who said if you don't wear a hijab, you become munafiq? Who said so? Don't spread lies and canards. That is what I say. Even Bhaktu was sitting there. He was spreading hatred. Nobody is interested in why a person wears a hijab. It is essential practice in our religion. In the Quran, Allah Ta'ala has said so to the Prophet that please tell the women to cover themselves. Why should they not? Who are you to tell me? Who are you to tell me?
Stop using religion as a tool to cripple rationality of people.
Speak about religion.
Stop running this mental slavery in the name of religion.
You talk about
Stop deciding on behalf of people. Let them decide. If someone wants to wear something or if somebody does not want to wear something, that is their personal choice. Stop poking your nose in it. Stop emotionally blackmailing people in the name of religion.
I am asking you a simple question. You are a master of Islam. Kindly read one simple verse of
I am a master of my own
without
life.
looking into the Google.
I am a master of my life. Nobody can dictate me how to live my life. Nobody can tell me what to eat, what language to speak, what books to read, what principles to follow.
Waris, you got to,
Stop dictating.
Waris, people, women in India also watching this. No, I have something to say. You see, Lubna, no, things are, this debate is very sharp. This debate is very sharp right now, Subhi, and I think the point here is that it has been proven without doubt right now that there are videos out there. You see, Lubna, you need to understand this has now become a global movement. Your choice to wear the hijab. But when some people come, Zina Chaukat Ali, and say, I'm only speaking to Lubna and Zina Chaukat Ali right now. And when some people say Zina Chaukat Ali, you see, she's from a conservative family, she has to wear the hijab. And people like Waris Pathan says, the girl is from a conservative family, if you don't let her wear the hijab, she may be denied her education. In other words, a quote-unquote conservative family decides that the girl should be denied the education if she were to go to school without a hijab or go to college without a hijab. That is a decision being taken for the young girl by her quote-unquote conservative family members. But now you see, when revolutions happen and revolts happen, there are incidents like the one which has happened in Iran. And it's being spoken about. Why? I just want you to explain to Lubna, who seems to be in a completely parallel universe, I want you to explain to her, as well as you can, as only you can, Zina Chaukat Ali, why women across the world are joining this protest. It's like a force of freedom is being unleashed upon women across the world. From Islamabad, in Afghanistan. And the enforcement of the hijab is being questioned everywhere. This is moral policing. Moral policing out here. You know, they're enforcing the hijab law in Iran by facial recognition. They're using facial recognition software to find women who fail to wear the hijab in public. They will follow the lady with facial recognition. They will catch her. They will punish her. And, like in this case, they will kill her. And that's when women come out and say, enough and no more of these men telling us what we are to do. We shall not only not wear the hijab, but we shall cut our hair, and we shall do so publicly and put it on social media. I just want you to explain why freedom has become so important, not just in Iran, but across the world in this case.
She has already spoken now.
It is because Arnab, there is a verse in the Quran.
Lubna after Zina ji, please.
I have already heard her.
No, she needs to explain to you in a little more detail, and then I'll come back to you.
There is a verse in the Quran which says, let there be no compulsion in religion, and there should be no oppression. And I would like to bring to everyone's notice that even a conservative country like Saudi Arabia has brought about certain rules. We are not the only Muslims in the world who live in India. There are Muslims cutting across in different countries, and there are half a dozen countries today that do not allow hijab to be worn in schools, in public institutions, or in places like banks or in places like public offices. Now the whole point is that when we interpret and look at Islam, because you see it has a conservative understanding that has been come down, we refuse to open our minds and look at the interpreters. We are looking at a verse of the Quran which we are calling wajib or farz or mandatory in English. Now there is no such word used where women's clothing are concerned. Yes, it is said that you dress modestly, that you cover yourself well, that you, when you go out, you feel protected and you look respected. That is the point. But the point to dress, that you make a code, that this is the only way for you to dress, that if you do not dress in this particular style, you do not fall within the ambit of Islam, is highly objectionable. And it is not I who am saying it, it is the Muslims cutting across the world who are saying it. There are only 3 countries in the world today, that is Iran, Afghanistan, and the Arctic, which is a part of Indonesia, only a small part that has made the veil mandatory, that has made hijab mandatory. Nowhere else in the world. You look at the largest Muslim population, look at Indonesia, look at Malaysia, look at the Moroccan countries, look at Algeria. All these people, it is not mandatory because it is not enforced, and it is not an essential part of Islam. Therefore, it is not mandatory. It is mandatory for you to say your prayers, it is mandatory for you to keep your roza, it is mandatory for you to do your hajj. This is the word farais. The word wajib is used for that.
First, get your basics right,
where hijab is concerned, it is neither fardul ain nor fardul kifaya, which means either on the individual or on the public basis. This is not a compulsion. This is not mandatory. That is my point. And you see countries, there are only, as I said, 3 countries from the 55, 60 Muslim countries across the world.
No, that's all right. All I'd say is, you see, just one point, Lubna, I want to add something and then hand over to you to fully respond. You see, I feel
Zeenat needs to first get her basics right.
Oh, you want to teach Zeenat Shaukat Ali some basics? What about
she just now spoke about. No, just let me speak, na. You said that I'll get a chance to speak after
it's all right. Yeah, please.
You're not letting me speak at all. She was just giving her half-baked knowledge about Islam. She was speaking about the 5 things that the obligations about regarding prayer. So there are farais regarding worship. Then there are farais regarding other things as well. She is absolutely clueless about it. And she is speaking to me here and you are just letting her speak.
Show me the word in the Quran which is wajib.
Without giving me a chance.
Show me the word in the Quran where it is obligatory. Show me when the Muslims cutting across the world have said this is obligatory.
There are
Show me the words, madam.
There are farais.
Do not challenge me on this. I want you to show me the words.
There are other farais as well, madam.
Obligatory.
There are other farais as well apart from 5 farais. Those 5 farais are related to just worship. Those 5 farais are just related to worship. They do not cover the entire.
जो मुल्ला ने कहा है वो आप मान रहे हैं.
Now you're not letting me speak. You are not letting me speak. I was just listening to you and not.
No, but she's actually challenging you. Lubna, she is challenging you. Lubna Zeenat Shaukat Ali is a very well-regarded professor of Islamic studies and she's challenging you. She's challenging your knowledge. She's challenging your awareness. She's challenging your facts.
She does not know the basics.
Show me one verse.
She does not know the basics.
Verses where
she does not know the rest of the farais.
You show me where it is used for women's clothing that you are using it today.
She is just referring to the 5 farais related to worship.
But she's challenging you.
So you see where you are only repeating what you have learned.
She is just continuously speaking and you're not letting her stop.
But Lubna, you're not being able to respond to her. But Lubna, you're not being able to counter her.
He is just.
You're not being able to counter Dr. Zeenat Shaukat Ali. She's challenging you and you're not being able to counter her.
You are not letting me speak.
When the word hijab is used and no word of clothing.
Yes, there is a word called jilbab. That is what I am saying, that there are farais related to other things as well. She just referred to the 5 farais related to worship. Those are not the only farais.
This is not used for hijab.
She is absolutely clueless about the rest of the farais.
The word farais and mandatory is not
used for hijab. Madam, it is wajib. Madam, it is wajib. Hijab is wajib. Hijab is wajib.
You show me the word that is mandatory.
Hijab is wajib. Do you know that?
Firoz also countering right now.
Hijab is wajib.
Firoz is also countering.
Why should the life of somebody be taken? Okay, let me tell you one thing, Lubna, please listen to me. Lubna, you are just like my daughter, and sometimes you speak things on other channels when you are with me and lighten things. Let me tell you one thing, Lubna. In Islam, there is this verse, La ikraha fid din. La ikraha fid din means there should not be any enforcement in the matter of religion, whether it is hijab, whether it is something else, whether it is conversion. Yeah, right.
That
so please,
has already been discussed.
And let me tell you one thing.
People with half-baked knowledge.
One thing more, Lubna. I wish you start a movement from India. Lubna, please, मेरी बात सुन लो. Lubna, मेरी बात सुन लो बेटा. बच्चे मेरी बात सुन लो. You are a learned woman. You are an educated woman. मेरी बात सुन लो. Listen, you start a movement from India to actually be on the side of these Iranian women. You should salute them.
I'm going to write to the Iran embassy.
Yes, you start this movement. I will be with you. I am the odd man out, but I will support all the women who are with the women of Iran. And Iran is going the wrong way. It's very upsetting. And let me also tell you one thing, Arnab, that women of the world are with the women of Iran, and this hijab controversy has completely died down. And rightly said by Sabuhi that each and every person is the master of his or her own life. You can't dictate terms. And don't say that. I
think you should just ask your leader, Asaduddin Owaisi, to put out a tweet in support of the women in Iran. Why can't he comment on it? He comments on everything. Why does he not put out a tweet supporting the women of Iran?
Very well said.
Arnab, we live in India. The beauty of our country is the secular fabric of our country. Just like our Sikh brothers are allowed to wear the turban, it is important for them. Our Christians, they wear cross in there. Our Hindu sisters, they put tilak on their head. Our Hindu brothers put thread on their head. Similarly, it is important for a Muslim girl to wear a hijab.
That's not for you to decide.
The beauty of our great nation.
That's not for you to decide. And the women of Iran are making it very clear. Shams Ravish, yes. Finally, we got the link with you. Go on.
Thank you, Arnab. I would here like to say that everyone need to understand that the religion came for the welfare of the human beings. All right. So if you need to lead a good life, you need to follow a certain way. You could follow any religion. All right. So hijab is not something that is mandatory. It's the human right that is mandatory. So here, what's happening there is that moral policing is saying that you should wear a hijab. Here in India, the moral policing is saying that you can't wear a hijab. It should be a person's right. Whether she wants to wear a hijab or she doesn't want to wear a hijab, it should be her own right.
The argument of choice. 1 minute. Shams, sorry I missed you throughout the debate because we had a bad link. But I'll tell you, the argument of personal right goes away the moment you say it is a mandate of a religion. You can't have personal right and mandate on the one side. And the simple question is, simple question is, you are saying women have the freedom to wear the hijab in Islam. Then do women also have a right not to wear the hijab in Islam? That question will equally be asked. And viewers on the other side tonight, the news report that surprisingly many people in the media are not talking about, but it is becoming very, very controversial. And I truly wonder why channels are sort of trying to black out this news. There have been many multiple reports that Bhagwant Mann, Punjab Chief Minister, was drunk, that he was in an inebriated state, and because of that he had to be deplaned from Lufthansa's plane at Frankfurt Airport. Now, just hold the very delicately phrased comment from Lufthansa, very technical, did not really comment on the condition of Mr. Bhagwant Mann, and Mr. Bhagwant Mann has not responded to it. But viewers, the entire opposition is talking about it. Multiple sources are being cited here. Why is Arvind Kejriwal quiet about it? Why is Bhagwant Mann quiet about it? Viewers, big story. Question being, was Mann drunk? On the other side.
Fulfill your dream of studying at the world's leading universities, and that too at a reduced cost with Amity's Global Study Program. Study in India with Amity for some years. Then take a transfer to leading universities in the USA, UK, Canada or Australia and earn a foreign university degree. Apply at amity.edu/global study.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाइड क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
Enroll in any of REVA's wide range of courses designed to take on an evolving education and an expanding future. REVA University.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाइड क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
And a quick roundup of news in brief from across the globe. Mourners continued to pour in to pay tributes to Queen Elizabeth II in the early hours the day of the monarch's state funeral. British officials said that the queue for people to view Queen Elizabeth II lying in state had reached final capacity and had to be closed to new entrants. The Queen Consort Camilla has paid tribute to Queen Elizabeth II, saying she carved her own role in a tribute to late Queen that was her mother-in-law. The Queen Consort talked about her character and passions, but also shared a personal anecdote from the day of their wedding. She also said Queen Elizabeth II had an unforgettable smile. The President of Trinidad and Tobago described that their meeting with late Queen Elizabeth II felt like meeting with an old, familiar face. She acknowledged that many Caribbean nations expressed the will to end ties with the monarchy. British officials said that the queue for people to view Queen Elizabeth II lying in state had reached the final capacity and had to be closed to new entrants. Hundreds of thousands of people have waited up for 12 hours or so in queues to pay their tributes to Queen Elizabeth II.
And in other top stories, Delhi Police's Economic Offences Wing has summoned actor Jacqueline Fernandez to appear before it at 11 this morning for questioning in the 200 crore rupees scam. After Begusarai, now indiscriminate firing reported on the streets of Vaishali, a district in Bihar. Bike-borne criminals fled in the direction of Rajendra Chowk, firing indiscriminately on Marai Road. An investigation has now been launched to nab the accused. Mumbai court to hear the bail application of Sanjay Raut today in Patrachal scam case, accused in a 1,000 crore scam. Arrested on August 1st, Sanjay Raut's judicial custody ends today. Akhilesh Yadav will lead the march of the Samajwadi Party legislators from the party office to Uttar Pradesh Vidhan Bhavan today to attend the monsoon session of the state legislature. During the march, party MLAs and MLCs will raise issues of unemployment, price rise, crimes against women and the poor, and the law and order situation in the state. Ahead of the showdown, UP Deputy Chief Minister has now launched a scathing attack, saying that the ones who protected goons now want to raise issues.
And a quick roundup of news in brief from across the globe. Mourners continued to pour in to pay tributes to Queen Elizabeth II in the early hours the day of the monarch's state funeral. British officials said that the queue for people in view of
Former Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh officially joined the BJP along with 5 other leaders in the presence of senior leaders of the Saffron Party. With this, his party Punjab Lok Congress was officially merged with the BJP.